This is Lacey Rice with Coach Josh Dean of Kentucky State University, football Thoroughbreds. Today, the team took one to the chin from Johnson C. Smith, 38-14. Um, Coach, what were some of the positives that you were able to take away from today's game?
Some of the positives that we were able to create turnovers. I believe we created maybe 3 turnovers on defense, and those are always things you like to build on. I think that defensive, we played well defensively. I thought that was a big key for us, but I think that's where it ends there.
Okay. Two of the interceptions that you got resulted in the scores that you had today.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, how do you think that your defense played?
I think for the most part they played solid, but I mean there's 38 points. The only score that was not a defensive score was the blocked field goal that was scored for a touchdown. So at the end of the day, the 31 points were on the defense. We didn't help them out offensively. We didn't put them in the best positions, but we have to find a way to shut them out. And there's some things that we need to clean up. Obviously, on both sides of the ball, especially offense, that we will, because we can't afford to have showings like that. And the way we're built from a team-wise, we can't have our defense on the field for extended long periods and drives. And at the same time, with the offensive weapons that we have to find a way to be more efficient. And we have to make plays. Pure and simple. We didn't make enough plays. We didn't make any plays really offensively, and I think that came back to bite us.
Okay. Offensively, your team actually had as many turnovers as Johnson C. Smith. Both teams had 4 turnovers each. What do you contribute from what you saw for those turnovers? I think you had there were 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. One of the interceptions was kind of obvious when the quarterback kind of just threw the ball up in the air to avoid the sack. But was it primarily Johnson C. Smith causing the turnovers, or was it primarily your guys?
You never want to discredit the other team because at the end of the day they have to make a play. But where we failed is the I feel one of the interception was a read. The other interception was the guy not running the right route, and the other one was a jump ball. Mm-hmm. And that's when we got to make sure that our quarterback knows he doesn't have to press. We have to be able to trust the offense and find the flow in our offense, and I think that's huge. And you don't want to say that, okay, because you had a bad showing that, it's solely on the play call and this and that. And it's not that. It's on everything. Everything comes together for that result. So we have to make sure that we go back and really analyze what we're doing and see where we need to correct it and how we need to clean up the system because, this is technically a preseason. It is going on record, but at the same time, we have one more game before we start our conference, and we have the first initial goal is to win conference, but you have to win conference game by game, and we have to just really improve what we do because this is a team that I felt like we should have played better against, and especially coming off last week and what we do. So. I have high expectations for our team because the expectations are set from them. What they can do, how they perform. So we just need to go back and figure out how to get that offense going again.
Okay. Speaking of last week, you had a relatively close game, especially in the second half against Hampton. Mm-hmm. And coming off of that game into this week, I'm sure that your outlook was very positive since Hampton is a Division I team versus Division II. How good do you think Johnson C. Smith will be by the end of this year?
That's a tough one. I think they play solid defense. offensively, I didn't really recall anything that they did. I just think that we were very inefficient on offense. And when you're like that, you don't put yourselves in good situations. It's one thing to be inefficient, but still being able to control field position. But when you're inefficient, you have turnovers and you don't control field position. It causes you all kinds of problems. And you said there was 3 interceptions. I know there's 1 or 2 fumbles. So and then that's if they were playing true and scored a touchdown for every one, that's 5 times 7 or 6. How you call it, that's 35 points. And the final score I believe was 38-14. So you gotta it all plays its part because it's the field position game. Both all combined. And we just got to do a better job. I mean, we're better, and I tell those guys we're better than that. And it'd be one thing to say, hey, this and this, but we are completely better than that. So we have to really retool how we do everything from the top to bottom before we go on, because this is unacceptable. And not to say that I'm overreacting because of any loss would be unacceptable, but it's how you lose and how you play. And I felt like we didn't play up to the level that I know we can.
There were also some calls missed by the officials or made by the officials that some people might call speculative and whatnot. Overall, how well do you think that the officials called the game? Do you think they called it fairly even?
I mean that's not my call to make. I think that calls made, but if you do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't come down to calls. You never want to put it in the officials' hands. So if you take care of what you need to on the field, it won't happen. And I think that, like I told the players, you make the plays and you control it. Chirping at officials and back and forth, that's not going to help. Officiating is a tough job. It's one of the toughest jobs it could be. So, I respect them for what they do, and they're putting some tough ones. And I'm sure Johnson C would say the same thing. You don't get every call that you want, but if you get every call you want, then you probably be undefeated. You know what I mean? But you just got to make sure that you take care, you control what you control, and the rest will take care of itself.
Okay. Looking at your next game, you did say that you will have to go back and pretty much retool and go from there. Can you speak a bit about your next opponent?
My next opponent is Virginia State. I can't tell you much. I just know that they have a new coach, they have a new staff, and it's kind of interesting. We just got their tape, I believe, Thursday. And haven't got a chance to look at it yet, but I know that we get their game today, so we'll have 2 games to really work off of. Virginia State has always been an athletic team. I know last year we played them close. We lost by like 6 or 7 points, I believe, here. And it's going to be another opponent, in the CI, I don't know if it's the CIAA, but that conference is loaded, and they play good football, and they got a good coach. Like we just played Johnson C. They got a great coaching staff. One of the coaches I played professional ball with, so they coach too. They get paychecks too. Their players get scholarships too. So we have to get prepared, and we just have to play them. I mean, I'm a firm believer. If we do what we need to do, we'll be okay. So I don't worry about them as much as I worry about how we run and what we do. And obviously, we weren't efficient like we needed to be. So we need to go back to the basics.
Okay. While you're at home, one of the differences I noticed today was that the band played during the snap of the ball. Past few years, according to one of the former athletic directors, that wasn't allowed, and I believe there have been times actually in the past where Kentucky State was warned or penalized for playing during snaps, but it seems that emphasis has been taken away this year.
Yeah, that rule has changed because it's one thing that it was never really enforced, and it's too difficult and unfair to penalize the team for that. I mean, some teams that can't control that, and it's just part of the culture. Like I said, it's when you're in when you're part of a certain culture and it's there, you just get used to it. And I heard it, but I tuned it out. And that's just like, if you're playing against 50,000 fans, you can't hear stuff. So just got to be able to play through it. So, I think that's one thing they just said they're not going to penalize everybody for. So they did change that, and I think that was it was this year. This year is the first year that they said they're going to ease up on that call, and that's a conference deal. And we were just, I remember we talked about as coaches, like, hey, it is what it is. We're just going to have to keep playing.
Do you think you'll be able to use your band, or have you talked to the band director about using the band as an advantage, because you are at home, and that is normally part of your home field advantage too.
I have not. I don't think I will. I enjoy. I just enjoy the culture. I think that when it's going, when you're starting to pick it up, the tempo goes, the band's playing, and you start feeding off it. I know when I think Malone had an interception, a touchdown. You see him celebrating on the sideline. It feeds into each other, and that's part of the culture. You come here, come to the game, be entertained, and good things. So we just wish we had more of it.
Okay. This is going to be my last question. What is there a specific improvement that you're looking for as far as next week's game, to try to, because you're going to be on the road, probably in hostile territory in Petersburg. Is there a specific thing that you're looking to improve? I know you said you're going to try to retool the entire thing, but
we have to have more offensive production. We didn't score offensive touchdown. We scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and if anybody told me that we would have 3 takeaways on defense and 2 touchdowns, I would expect us to win by 2 touchdowns. And with the weapons we have, but we have to. There's some things offensively we really have to look at and improve, and there's things, it's funny, the wave of game, because it can go and it can come. And I remember talking to one of my former players and said, Coach, it's the wave. It's, you got young guys, but, and it's new offense, and I understand that. So I don't want to make it too big until I see the film, but there's some things that we just need to shore up. And the physicality of our offensive line, we have to improve that. The fluidity of our offense, we have to improve that and be efficient. That's part of the reason why I wanted that kind of offense, because it gives the options and it plays into your talents and your strengths. Our strengths are we're 4 or 5 deep at wide receiver. We got 2 pretty good backs, and they're better in space. We have 2 athletic quarterbacks. So we have to look at it and see how we can get the most out of it, because we didn't get the most out of it tonight at all.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Coach, and good luck next week.
Thank you.